Story 1. Smiling like it's all good. But my girlfriend is gone, my cat is not well, and I am hosting my mom's funeral tomorrow. Some weird part of me thinks it will be fine. Edit. The funeral went fine, and the cat is okay. I know the optimism is not causal, but it sure makes life better. That comes from my mom, and it has been a privilege to be able to hold on to it. Big gratitude to all. Story 2. Stuck in a cycle of only work, for which I am underpaid, no extra income for social activities, and some loneliness in there. Thank goodness I have a wonderful dog. Story 3. Let me put it this way. I spent a good 20 minutes writing out something, sighed, deleted it, so I'll just say this. I'm all right, bud. To all of those who have said such kind things to me, thank you all. This is the reason I keep coming back here. Truly, the kindness of the internet really does shine through sometimes. I love you all. Close ranks around each other, brothers. We're in this life, and together we will persevere. Story 4. Well, I am unemployed, deep in debt, and pretty unsure of the future. But I am doing pretty well, all in all. I did not really have a future past June, so I am still getting used to the new me and really excited to be around. I am looking forward to doing things better this time. Story 5. Doing great. Went on a journey of self-improvement and reflection over the past 12 months. Hit the gym, lost about 75 pounds and over 14% body fat. I'm excited to go shopping now for new clothes, and I look damn good when I look in the mirror. I am savoring every single moment with my daughter and son. My wife has never been more affectionate toward me. I'm putting in fewer hours at work and making more money and even receiving higher praise. Before, I was a workaholic, and I think my mental health was causing me to underperform. I approach my life now with love, and I am very appreciative of my blessings. Story 6. The last 5 years have been awful for a number of reasons. I am currently approaching 2 years of a very deep depression, and I have no idea what I am going to do with myself if the situation does not resolve itself soon. Life is difficult, and I do not know when I will be happy again. Story 7. About a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. It is primary progressive, which is the rarest and worst kind. Over the course of that time, I have been slowly losing the ability to walk. I can barely make it through the grocery store without collapsing at the end. I can barely dress myself. I am only 32. It has not even been 2 years since my diagnosis. I am afraid. Story 8. Honestly, I am doing all right. Some days are tougher than others, but I am working on prioritizing self-care and talking openly about my feelings. No shame in admitting when I am struggling. How about you? Story 9. I am a mental health therapist for children and youth. It has been really disheartening lately with the number of suicide attempts I have seen in kids over the last couple of months. I have a wait list of kids who really need help, and there are just not enough hours in the day to help everyone, yet I still feel guilt. Please take care of the children and youth in your lives. Ask them how they are doing. Give them a hug. It is tough for them out there. I am just trying to be the counselor I needed when I was their age because I was one of them. I love my job, but sometimes I find it hard not to take their problems home with me. Story 10. Cut my life into pieces. I've reached my last resort. Suffocation. No breathing. Don't care if I cut my arm, bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong? Would it be right? If I took my life tonight, chances are that I might. Mutilation out of sight. And I'm contemplating suicide. Story 11. I am very happy. My ex-employer favorite sports team is doing well. My daughter and son-in-law were promoted at work, and my grandson was given first chair cello, and I watched him perform this week. Retiring and moving to a new country was stressful, but seeing my family do well is very nice. Story 12. Better after nearly 70 days with no alcohol. I can't believe how much better my coping skills are. My suicidal ideation is gone, and my sleep is so much better. Thanks for asking. Take care of your mental health. Keep it up. Story 13. Honestly, I don't want to die. I just want to stop existing. I know no one will care. I'm so tired and sick of waking up in the morning and having to fight through another day. I wish I never existed in the first place. Story 14. I'm a 19-year-old boy. Life has been pretty bad for me since I was born, and I'm not talking about simple teenage things, but about abuse, violence, and poverty. I hit rock bottom a few times, considering doing some really harmful things. Recently, my girlfriend, who was studying abroad for 1 year, and I have had some big fights, and I think she is about to leave me like everybody else. Everybody leaves me every time. Friends, girlfriends, relatives. Am I the problem? I often think that if I disappear, it would just be better for everybody, and I can't find a real reason to try in this life. Sorry for my bad English, but I'm still trying to improve. If you read this, I'm really thankful. Nobody listens to me. Story 15. Last week I went to the doctor to speak about mental health and my lack of interest in bathing, showering, cooking, watching television, playing games, and so on. She recommended some pills for depression. I bought them and they are on my desk. I'm just scared that they will alter who I am or that my body will rely on them after I try them. Right now, I'm in limbo. Story 16. I have a loving wife, but I live alone. No friends or close relatives. I have a great job. In fact, I am the job. I hire people and try to take good care of them. I have everything I could ever ask for. But for what? No real sense of accomplishment in life. No reason to live except for the fact I don't want to leave my wife alone. No plans for the future. I do the same thing every day. Each day is a carbon copy of the previous day. I have no control over life. I always have to pick between two bad options, and I can't stop thinking that one day it will all end. Why do anything at all? Might as well do nothing. I'm drunk almost every day. I'm the Haymitch of real life. Story 17. Pretty well, actually. Generation X here. I feel like I've deconstructed the delusions of my religious upbringing, processed childhood neglect and abuse, learned to feel and accept grief, jettisoned most of the toxic masculinity I was sold as a kid, and found a kinder, gentler, stronger masculinity to replace it. I feel comfortable in my skin, even if I have personal goals I haven't met yet. It takes time, pain, and energy, but it's worth it. Story 18. Trying to ignore all the political issues 5 days out, but I still had to go out and fix some Harris signs in my red hometown. We can disagree about who should run the country, but damaging signs just shows your immaturity. Story 19. Exhausted. Lonely. Frustrated. It's too loud in my head most of the time. My job is pointless. I have no future. Nothing to look forward to but going back to sleep. I want to die. Story 20. Still trying to get the Drug Enforcement Administration to understand my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder medication makes me want to not kill myself or be depressed all the time. And I am not, in fact, selling them on the street corner in rural America. So 2 stars right now. Story 21. I feel guilty for saying I'm feeling good with what I have just read in this comment section. Look after yourselves, guys. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And do it for yourself. Story 22. I've recently turned 40, and to be honest, I've realized that all the little problems with my body are not going to get better. I can expect this level of pain and probably worse for the rest of my life now, and to be completely honest, I'm really scared. Story 23. Absolutely horrible. This is probably the worst I have ever been mentally. I am depressed, on the verge of poverty. I have no friends, and my family is also not doing well. I am just waiting for something else to come up to make me lose my mind. There is literally no way out of my situation, and I might even lose my apartment because I am overdue on my last bill. This life really sucks. Story 24. Gen Z here, just working at a fast food job, getting high, doing productive housekeeping, and playing video games. I'd say it's been a 5 to 6 out of 10 in general. I just wish the housing market hadn't declined, and rent prices weren't so high that I'm just a 20-year-old living with my mom. Story 25. Smoldering tire fire. My job was eliminated over a year ago. I lost insurance and medication. Medication that keeps me functioning like an adult. So I am still unemployed. I feel terrible and do nothing. I am burning through every penny I saved for retirement. I have no prospects. It's just me, my cat, and the 4 walls of my apartment. Story 26. Well, my dog died on a Monday, And my girlfriend dumped me Thursday because she thought it was weird how much I cried over the death of my best friend. A week later, I got a cancer diagnosis and my mom has breast cancer. So I'm pretty far from good, I guess. Though I exist, I'm just doing the same thing every day. Go to work, try to work, go to the gym, eat, sleep. I do nothing else. In the time I'm not doing that, I just sit on Reddit or YouTube trying to pass time. Not even gaming gives sparks of joy, so I just feel like a random speckle existing that no one really cares about. And that showing my weakness will cause people to shun me because I should just man up. But at least I am financially well off and I lost 12 kilograms over the last 4 months, so I have that going, I guess. Lord knows what I would do if I was financially screwed as well. Story 27. Not good. And I've been preaching it for a while. To deaf ears, it seems. I have a kid and a wife, and they are literally the only reasons I'm still living. Story 28. I am beaten down and broken. Thank God for my loved ones giving me the support I need to get through some tough times. I only hope I can be there for them in the same capacity when I get through this. Story 29. Been sober from alcohol for 2 weeks now. It's definitely been interesting actually allowing myself to feel emotions rather than numb them, but in the best of ways. Story 30. Not good. I've been working on a project for weeks due to a rough handoff and just realized I made a major mistake. My wife feels detached from me like we don't spend enough time together. I fall asleep not long after going to bed. Our 2-year-old has to sleep with us again and wants me all the time because he spends most of the day with his mom. Finances got hard, so we moved in with my mother-in-law, and even with reduced rent, bills and credit debt keep piling up. I feel like I've failed my family, and even though I've set up my work-from-home setup, living here feels temporary and cramped. Polls show at least 50% of the people in my country want to vote for a hateful man who wants to degrade the rights of women, minorities, and the LGBTQ+ community. I feel for them even if some believe they need to vote for this man. I'm worried about the future of my country. Men today are deluding themselves into believing the manosphere has things figured out, believing alpha male nonsense and that Andrew Tate will teach them how to be happy. But they're just driving away people who care and giving men a bad name. Just, what did the world become? Story 31. I am normally totally solid, but my dad died last month and my mom is homebound after an accident at his funeral. I am now having to spend 12 hours a day at their place, making sure she's eating and not being taken advantage of by my siblings. I've developed a weird tic after the trauma of doing a very unpleasant hospice care situation for my dad. If I'm being honest, I need a therapist badly. Story 32. A good 4 out of 10. Edit. I'm a girl though. Didn't see the men part. Edit part 2. Guys, it's not about women or me not validating men's feelings or making everything about us. It's me getting confused and not seeing the part where it said, men of Reddit. It was an honest mistake, and please do not criticize other women for it. We do care about your mental health too. My confusion has nothing to do with you guys. I guess my username checks out after all. Story 33. 35-year-old male. 2 years clean off drugs, including alcohol, this past Tuesday. Better than I have ever been in many ways. Great work-life balance, wonderful community in recovery, adorable cat, and a lovely light-filled apartment. Still missing a partner. I am hoping that the right person will show up eventually, but I am okay on my own. Stressed as hell about this election. Men, let's keep the women in our lives safe and free by voting blue. Story 34. Honestly terrible. Just watching this world fall apart in front of my eyes, and the people cheering it on makes me sick. I honestly don't know what kind of world we are going to be left with for our children. Story 35. Anxious. Election season has not helped. In technology, we never know what is around the corner these days. At an age where 2 young kids, a wife, parents, and of course everyone at work look up to you for answers, which I do not always have, there is no time to do anything fun for myself. I am kind of overwhelmed as well. I appreciate others sharing here, and I do recognize that many of us here have much bigger issues, and I wish you all well. Story 36. I don't really know, to tell you the truth. 2 years ago, I finally found help for alcoholism, which I'd been struggling with for about 8 years up to that point. I wasn't actually unhappy with life. I enjoyed life day to day, still had a job I enjoyed that paid the bills, and boozing isn't an expensive habit if you don't drink in bars, so I always had plenty of money. I quit because while I enjoyed life, the people around me just got sick of me. It wasn't that I was doing anything horrible drunk, more so that they knew I was always drunk, and it changed their perception of me to where it upset them regardless of anything else going on. I really got sober to make others happy. I think back to that era constantly. How much easier life was. I don't exactly miss having to find places to puke all the time, but in the grand scheme of things, I have to be honest with myself that I was happier and more fulfilled with life back then. Not just that. As a drunk, I had a successful touring band, a fiancé, and I was living on my own. All of that is gone now. There were certainly circumstances other than booze, but it's a tough comparison not to make. I've been pretty much completely alone since getting sober. I do things with people here and there, but I moved back in with my parents to help them. They're getting older and not doing great. That alone kind of kills any chance of romantic relationships, but I haven't really looked for any, and not a single person has expressed any interest in me. I was surrounded as a drunk, I was never alone, and always had people wanting to be with me. So my mental health isn't exactly a struggle. It's more like I'm just on autopilot now, living with the constant realization that I probably made a huge quality of life error getting sober.